It's bigger on the inside.
Is it? I've noticed.
Nickname here, and welcome to Bigger on the Inside, episode number 5. As always, I'm joined with Ringo.
How you going? How you doing? Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm gonna say from now on.
Wow.
How you doing, guys?
How you going?
How you going? I'm running on 2 hours of sleep, so I'm gonna pretend that I know what I'm saying. Episode 5. Wow, this feels weird.
Yes.
It's a big number. Like,
technically, we've done 6, but this is technically episode 5.
Yeah. Six is even
yeah.
more daunting. Alright.
Episode 2 was weird. We decided to do 2 parts. How have you been?
I've been great. I went to go watch Rogue One, my first midnight premiere, which is exciting, but I can't talk about it, so that's enough of that. I can't say anything else. But that was a good experience. The movie was... That's me blowing out my own voice. Okay. And then that same day, I went to Woolworths, because that's a thing now, and picked up my PlayStation 4. Because the...
What?
Yes. Now, hear me out.
What?
Right? The place... Okay, so... It's the Uncharted 4 package, right? With the sexy Nathan Drake on it. The thing is, though, you buy that... I bought that from a games company online on eBay, and they let you pick it up at Woolworths. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. So I walk up to Woolworths, you know, and I'm like, PS4? I'm like really confused. I didn't say it like that, obviously. I grabbed some bread while I was there, grabbed some juice, but still, you know,
As you
PS4.
do. As you do.
And I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games currently, even though 3 of them are in one disc. And I also plan to get Rocket League, so this fellow person here can stop bugging me.
Yeah, I'm definitely giving it to him. Just be like, I'm better at you at this game because you don't have it.
I'm going to prove you wrong. Anyway, apart from that, which has all happened in one day, nothing exciting has happened to me. So, off to you, the nickname. What do you got?
Alright, I'll start off with what I was talking about last episode. Assassin's Creed Black Flag, I played a bit more of it. And I just can't get into it. It feels like chore work. I know
the feeling.
You don't want those games where you just do this, and then you do that, and then you do this. And I'm just like, I know that there's supposed to be some sort of exploration here, but it's just when you want to do the missions, right? You don't want it to feel like just going from point to point. You want it to feel more worthwhile.
Yep.
I guess is the right term.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So I've stopped playing that for a bit, just putting that away. I'm just Nintendo mindset right now. Just Super Mario Run's supposed to be coming out.
He will not stop
Super
bugging
Mario...
us about that game.
Yeah.
Like,
Super
I can't
Mario
wait this long. Anyway, continue. I'm not gonna jeopardize your moment.
It's
now.
the 15th, god damn it! It should be out on midnight. Don't make... I will feel entitled every once in a while, and this is my one time I want to feel entitled. Right? It is currently 3:30 in the afternoon on the 15th. Okay, I wanted this midnight, so I could wake up this morning and be like, oh. The game's out, and I can be like really happy and all that, but no, I have to wait, assholes.
I'm sorry for your loss there.
Also, very excited to know about the Switch we have like an official time that it's going to be on. It's like January 11th or something like that. I don't know. But it's going to be at 3 p.m. It's on 3 p.m. An actual realistic time
You know
to
who'll be
air
happy about
something
that?
in Australia.
You know who'll be happy
It's
about
3
that?
in the afternoon. It's not like 2 a.m. in the fucking morning. It's 3 in the afternoon.
It's like that time
When I know I'll be
when we
awake.
may have stayed up till 3 in the morning to find out that Pearl Mackie was our next companion.
Yes. We're
It
going
was
to talk
worth
about
it,
Bill.
but you know,
We'll talk about Bill shortly. but-
yeah, it's nice to know that we can see awesome stuff during the day where we don't have to stay up late to you know, experience that.
And sticking with Nintendo temporarily,
Jimmy
I'm
Fallon.
just basically...
Sorry, continue. I'll get that out of the way. Okay, that's it for today. Continue.
You know what I'm talking about! That's what I'm talking about! Reggie Fils-Aimé! Oh, I'm geeking out. I'm geeking out right now! It's 3 consoles in 1 console!
Sorry, after this, I'm not talking about Nintendo for the rest of the episode. I'll try not to my best. But, yeah, I played a fair bit of, Yoshi's Woolly World. So basically, that's just the game that I've been wanting to get the most. So I bought I've pre-ordered the 3DS port of it, and I'm just really excited because it comes out 8 days before my birthday, and
I'll find out
waiting's a
when your
bitch.
birthday is.
Waiting is a bitch. Apart from that, not too much has happened. I think the one thing that we both will have very interesting thoughts about is, of course, Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. You saw this before I did, so you go first.
For my birthday
what
as
did you-
well. Oh boy.
What did you think of this movie?
I'll start with the short. What's it called? The shortcut. I like this movie, right?
Okay.
I liked what. There were obviously some. I'll get into the negatives, but the positives first. I liked how, you know, I knew nothing about this story, this character. Obviously, not a lot of people did, but the way that you can just make this world and just like instantly just this really believable fantasy world that J.K. Rowling does a lot. But I just loved the world in this one. I thought it was awesome. It's nice to see, you know, what do they call the Muggles in this one? The No Mages. Yes, the whole American side to this. I thought the world was a really interesting thing. The story, I liked the main story, which was the obviously the tracking down the beast. I thought that was a really, really cool thing. Nick, did you want to go positives, negatives each, or did you want to go did you want to discuss this?
Yeah, I'll go positives, but hang on. I do want to talk spoilers for this movie.
Obviously,
because
it's been out for some time now, I think.
Because some of the points I need to make are spoilers, so when we get to the spoiler part, we'll let you guys know, so in case you don't want it ruined, we'll let you know. Sound good?
Yeah, we will let you know.
Alright. Positives. I liked the directing in this movie. David Yates definitely made it feel like it was still in the Harry Potter universe, which is very good, which is very nice to see because it could be very easily disjointed, and if you want to tie it in, that's probably one of the better ways to do it. Kowalski, he is the most funniest character in this movie by far. And he was also the most interesting.
Actually,
I should point out there was one really funny part, and this is not even. This is kind of spoiler, but it's not really. The part at the creepy smile that he makes at the very end of the movie.
Yep.
That I laughed so hard, I started crying.
I think,
in
my opinion, Kowalski had the best character development in this movie.
Oh, for sure.
By far.
Yeah.
And he was also the funniest, so it's like just, extra points. Anyway.
But yeah, I was watching this with two friends.
Yep.
And they just looked at me with what are you doing? kind of mentality. But I didn't care because that was hilarious. The other thing I really liked was the fact that each of the beasts had such unique designs. they were so unique, and they had so good traits. I loved how each beast had a different sort of personality to them. I thought that was really cool. My favorite one though is the platypus with the coin obsession. It was some of the stuff he does in this movie. Oh man, it's hilarious. Like that platypus. It's like respect. It's just they're my two main positives. I have a couple of negatives. Have you got any more positives before we go to the negatives?
Positives. This is more of a question because I don't know how to feel. This, by the way, for people who don't know, this is J.K. Rowling's first time writing a script for a movie. Now, Nick, I want to know what your thoughts were on the screenplay for this movie.
It was alright, and I'm giving this my opinion now. It was a very movie. Like, I didn't hate it, I didn't love it, and I probably won't ever see it again.
Yeah, same. It's not like with Harry Potter and some of the other stuff. I can watch those movies a couple of times, but with this one, I think the story was very. I don't know how to explain it. It was sort of like closed a bit in terms of the whole, like, because obviously they're making this into 5 movies because Hollywood, but yeah, look, it's not a movie that I don't know why. I think it's just the style of the story that you just wouldn't watch again and again, but maybe that's just us.
Oh, actually, there is one more positive, and I totally forgot about this. The visual of Newt Scamander going in and out of the suitcase, that was really good.
I love that. I love that entire...
Particularly the part where he goes, like, he comes out of the suitcase into the American Ministry of Magic.
Yep.
That's what I'm calling it, because I just don't know the way to describe it. It's the American Ministry of Magic.
That's completely normal.
But yeah, that was a really, really cool visual shot that I really loved. Yeah, everything else. I feel indifferent about my next point, though. He felt very 11th Doctor-ish, and I knew that straight away from the trailer.
Oh, from the get-go, you can just tell.
I was like, you could replace Eddie Redmayne with Matt Smith, and replace that one with a screwdriver, and this could be a Doctor Who episode. Yep. Just his mannerisms and his ridiculous fashion sense.
Like he'd be amazing for Doctor Who if Matt Smith wasn't the Doctor. If Matt Smith never became the Doctor.
Exactly.
Yep.
But at the same time, he felt bland. Do you know what I mean? He felt bland at times. And he's not the only one who felt very bland. A fair amount of characters in this movie come across as bland. And I'm just like, oh. Particularly the female one that brings him in.
Yeah, I forgot her name. She was the one who I recognized straight away as like, this character is not that interesting. Like, I could not get behind the whole... What was her name, though? That's a good question.
I don't even remember her name. I kid you not. Kowalski and Newt are the only 2 characters I remember in this movie. Okay. And Grindelwald, but we'll get to him shortly.
Oh, yes, we will. What was his name?
3 characters. That's it. That's out of the entire movie. I remember 3 characters. That's not positive.
No.
That is not a good sign if you can't remember half the characters in a movie. Yeah. I was annoyed about the fact that Muggles were called No-Badges in American because it was just so boring name.
Yeah.
Muggles at least were a really cool name than No-Badge. I'm just like, just stick with Muggle. It's just, I don't know. It's a minor nitpick, that part. That it's just got on my nerves. Considering 8 movies have told me that it's Muggle, so to hear it as No-Badge, I'm just like, no. Just leave that alone.
Ready? Her name is...
Yes, go for it.
Porpentina Goldstein. How the hell are you meant to remember that name?
Yeah.
Porpentina.
I'm gonna forget the name in the next 2 minutes. I'm not kidding.
I don't blame you. Like... Anyway.
And she was so obviously this love interest, not really love interest, you know what I mean?
Very generic, yeah.
From the get-go. It's just... But Newt comes across as socially awkward, so you knew it wasn't going to happen in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any negatives that you want to talk about as well?
Well, this isn't really. I wouldn't call this a negative. Just a little issue that I had was that the introduction, right? It was, to me, it just felt a bit long. I mean, obviously, it's fine that they gave it to us that way instead of, telling us. I mean, they did tell us, they did show us as well. So I suppose it's not that bad.
Hang on, you're talking about the newspapers,
yes,
right?
the newspapers. The whole scene,
Okay.
which was fine because I suppose some people don't really know the story. I didn't fully understand the whole story of Grindelwald and all that, but I felt like it was a bit too long for my liking, and it sort of took a while to get into the story. That's, I think, one of my main ones. But I'll let you continue. I'll come back to my second point.
Okay, so one of the things I noticed straight away from watching it, right? This is the Hobbit version of Harry Potter. That's what it is. This is the Hobbit of Harry Potter.
See, if you say it like that, then that means the last one's going to be terrible, and I'm going to hate it. So please don't.
Just think about it. It's this inferior story that takes place prior to the big main story that everyone else cares about.
Yep.
And then there's a bunch of setup for sequels.
Yep.
So yeah, this came across very much like an unexpected journey. The main difference is I would probably rather watch an unexpected journey than I would this movie again.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there was more that I could come away with in an unexpected journey that I just can't in this movie because it's just so boring and generic.
Yep.
That's just, I don't know. There is potential, but it's off to a really slowish start. The bad guy in this movie, not we'll talk about I don't know. We're not going to talk about spoilers just yet, but the bad guy in this movie, he was very predictable as to who he was.
Oh, definitely.
And I don't quite understand the motivations behind the character. I didn't quite understand. Like, what was he doing? He was just kind of there, and then he was in the creepy alley with that kid that almost felt a bit pedo-ish. I don't know. It's just there are parts I liked, but there are a lot of parts I didn't like.
Yeah.
Any other non-spoilery, both positive and negative, you want to talk about?
There is one. I felt like, so obviously with this movie, for those who've seen it, you have the two plots going on. So you have the main plot with the tracking the beasts, and this side plot, which is like very, very minimal. But you have one of the characters, like you have this like sort of these shifty, interesting things going on. And the thing is, though, I can't explain that as detailed as I can, because I felt that subplot was really weak compared to the main plot, and I felt like it just wasn't as strong. I really couldn't get behind it, and then so when obviously the two plots, joined together at the end, it didn't really feel like it didn't even have an impact on me because I didn't feel like.
But the weird thing is, the main plot felt weak anyway.
Exactly.
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Like
so there was
because
no real strong.
Because you had most of the side characters were undeveloped. That was weak on its own. So could you imagine how a subplot of that would be like? Yeah. Apart from that, though, I think, unless I've forgotten something, they're my main two strives with the movie.
Alright, let's go spoilers.
So spoilers.
Spoilers! Alright, so
Spoiler alert.
for the next 2, 3, I don't know, 5 couple of, just block your ears until you think we've stopped talking about it.
Alright.
Yeah. So, okay. You gone, you guys? Okay, cool. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about spoiler-wise, Grindelwald.
Mm-hmm.
Played by Johnny fucking Depp. Where the hell did that come from?
The thing is, I remember seeing his name attached to the movie, and I completely zoned out. Like, I forgot that he was associated with this movie until the end, when I saw his face. I'm like, oh wait, he's in this movie, I forgot about that. I'm like, what? Like, what?
I didn't even recognize him I didn't recognize him. it took my friend to say,
Really? You didn't
that's
recognize
Johnny
him?
Depp.
Oh,
No,
I'm disappointed.
He looked like. Hang on. In all honesty, he looked like David Tennant in what was the Jesus episode? Last of the Time Lords.
Yeah.
You know how he's like that really old looking guy.
Yeah,
He's just,
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I didn't recognize him. He's just albino. I just
The white hair, the white
I looked at him
stash,
just
the
like
white...
that's not him. And we actually stayed until the credits until it said Grindelwald, Johnny Depp.
You
I'm
didn't
like,
believe him. You didn't believe your friend.
Wow. Well, I just couldn't see it. I just could not see it. And then I looked at the photos afterwards and I'm like, okay, I can see it now. But when I first looked at it, I'm like, it's not Johnny Depp. What are you talking about? That's not Johnny Depp. Why the hell would he be in this movie anyway?
I mean, look, obviously, is the whole series leading up to Grindelwald vs. Dumbledore, which to me is my biggest hype. Like, if they're gonna cast this guy as Grindelwald, who are they gonna cast as freaking Dumbledore? Like that's
I
my
hope it's Michael Gambon.
that's my biggest. Let's go to, let's get Orlando Bloom as Dumbledore. Have a little, Pirates reunion. Please don't. I was a joke.
Please no.
Now the thing is, I
no.
want to ask you a question. Honestly,
Yes.
got a question. Was the identity, like the whole Colin Farrell's actually this guy, was that meant to be a twist or not?
Yes.
That was meant to be a twist. Because when I saw Colin Farrell at the start, I'm like, this guy, I thought he was Grindelwald when I first saw him. And I realized that, no,
Yeah.
because he's not, obviously I realized, but still, he didn't have that whole mystery to him. Because when I saw him, I'm like, this guy's evil. I'm telling you now. And then when he switched, I'm like, yeah, okay, that wasn't really. Anyway, I just didn't think that was meant to be a twist.
Well, the weird thing was, right? As soon as I saw Colin Farrell, I'm just like, he's Grindelwald. I don't know how it's Grindelwald.
Exactly,
but he's Grindelwald.
same, yeah.
And I wasn't expecting I was expecting Polyjuice Potion to be the excuse they made.
Yeah.
Because you know how Polyjuice Potion, David Tennant turned into whoever plays Mad Eye Moody. I don't know. But I thought that would have been the reason they gave behind it. No, he just weirdly just turned back into Grindelwald. I'm like, okay, sure.
just take it.
You were talking about the newspapers before, and there was one part I really loved, but it's a very, very quick thing and you'll miss it, right?
Yep.
There's a news article where they're talking about soccer being the Muggle version of Quidditch.
I missed that. Oh.
I know. That was like a blink and you'll miss it type thing.
Oh, that's
And you have like stuff like Giggle Water, but like that part was hilarious because I asked Daniel, the guy I was with, and he's like, I asked him, did you see the part about the Quidditch and soccer? And he's like, no, what are you talking about? It's like the newspaper at the beginning. No, but yeah, I thought that was very funny. And now I'm going to spoil the ending.
ending.
Alright, so we already know that that stupid Deus Ex Machina, Forget Rain, is one of the stupidest things I have seen in cinema. Oh my god, the amount of stupidity that I just could not. Oh, but the worst part about it, right?
Yep.
If you could actually get past that, there were people clearly not in that rain.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
There was. So what's going to happen to those people? You can alleviate the people that are outside or in the showers, fine. Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
But there are people that are inside that are clearly not affected by the water in any way, shape, or form. How are they going to rectify that issue?
They don't. They don't. What they do is they're going to show the people who get affected and don't show the people who aren't, and then everybody's happy except for you and me. Because now that you've mentioned it, it's in my head now, and I can't stop questioning it. God damn it.
Well, I made these notes as soon as I came out of the movie, right? And then I watched and I listened to the mini pod that CinemaSins did for it, and they addressed the exact same problem. Like, thank you, I'm not the only one I'm not the only one that sees the stupidity in this ending. It's just like there's still 100,000 people that are just like, what the fuck was that?
Oh my god.
But just Oh, that's just frustration. It's not anger, it's frustration. I should point that out. I was angry at episode 4 of Class. I was frustrated here.
Oh, bringing Class into this now. Okay.
Well, if you remember last episode,
We
you know
got
how
angry, especially Nick here. Like episode 1, 2, and 3 was like, this is an alright show. But when episode 4 hit, we just laid down the hammer of rage and anger. Oh boy. Anyway.
And rightfully so.
Rightfully so, of course.
How about you? Any more points you want to talk about?
No. I think I'm done.
All right.
Yeah.
For the people that clearly can't hear this because they've still got their fingers in their ears, we've finished talking about Fantastic Beasts. You can come back now.
Yep.
We want you. We appreciate your viewership. Please come back.
So one final
Don't
question.
leave us.
This isn't spoilery.
Yes.
Would you eagerly get up out of your seat, drive, walk, ride to the cinema to watch a sequel of this movie?
Not straight away.
Not straight away. Yep. Same answer.
I would find out to see what people thought of it, like review-wise.
Yep.
I went into this knowing nothing, and that's fine. But I feel like I need to have some sort of outside opinion to justify whether the sequel is worth watching or not. But I definitely do think the big climax of the 5th movie, far out. Can't believe there's 5 movies of this thing.
The thing is, though, she's not doing it for money because
might
she's
be
already
worth it.
freaking rich. But
I think it might be as exciting as Order of the Phoenix fight.
Ooh.
The power. I think it might rival that.
I think it will as well.
If they do it right, and it's the same director, so it might work.
He's a really good director. So yeah, I think we've completely covered that. Unless you got something else, anything else you need to say?
No.
No. All right.
Alright.
Let's move on.
Let's move on to.
Roll credits.
Is there gonna be like a tune here, or like a?
Yeah, well, you saw it. If you remember last episode, my editing was just top notch. just rip off.
Don't say rip off.
We love you.
Don't say rip off. Just say inspired
Imitation.
by influence.
It's imitation.
Imitation.
Yeah.
Now, there's a movie that I want to talk about on this, but since it is a new release, and I doubt you've seen it, I'm gonna probably hold off. It is.
Okay.
Yes, it is called Arrival. I'm not sure if you've.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
just
talk about
not
it because legit, you can't talk about this movie without spoiling it. So hopefully you watch it. Hopefully we can discuss it because it is an amazing movie.
Hopefully sometime next year.
Yes.
I want to maybe DVD. When it comes out on DVD, I will definitely.
That's the plan. All right, off to you. So you've seen some
All
stuff.
right. Yes. So I went and watched what I consider to be the Hacker trilogy. That consists of Hackers, War Games, and Sneakers. So I will talk about those episodes as movies in order that I watched them. Hackers. This was interesting because this was mentioned by Hex from Good Game. She said how much she loved this movie and thought it'd be a great movie to watch. So yeah, I watched it. And if you want a movie that embodies everything right and wrong with the 90s, this is the movie for you. I kid you not. Everything that's 90s is in this movie, okay? So, you have Johnny Lee Miller, the elementary guy.
Yep.
He's got short blonde hair.
Oh, God.
And Angelina Jolie has short black hair. Straight away, that's a 90s thing right there. That ridiculous short haircut. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Hackers wearing glasses. That was another thing that was quite prominent in this movie. Like, you had, like, in example, Neo in The Matrix, he had the glasses and made that a big thing. But in this movie, the main character, whose name, I shit you not, is Crash Override. Well, that's his hacker name, okay?
God.
His hacker name is Crash Override, which is at least slightly better than his original hacker name of Zero Cool.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. All right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
so
refrain
you know
from
what you're
judging.
getting yourself into right now.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting yourself into.
Look, if you like it, you can try and sell it to me, but so far, I'm just gonna...
Oh, I'm telling you, if you want 90s cheese, watch this movie. And I'm just explaining to you why this is 90s cheese.
Alright.
Okay, a lot of the hacker text visuals is ridiculously dated. Like you just see them all typing, and it's it actually always feels like it's 80s more than 90s. The hacker visuals. Also, all of the cool kids move around on roller skates and skateboards.
That's the way it was back then.
Yeah, I told you, 90s.
Oh my god.
Floppy disks are used in this movie as a way to store data.
Yep.
My fucking god. When I saw floppy disks, I was like, shit, you could not get any more 90s than this. There are some some really cool scenes that involve payback of sorts, minor and major forms of payback, but they're really, really cool. I was really surprised to see some of the cast in this movie. I talked about Angelina Jolie and Johnny Lee Miller, but the one that plays Shaggy in the live-action Scooby-Doo movies,
Matthew
he's in this
Lillard.
movie.
Don't ask how I know that.
Yeah, he's in this movie with plaited hair.
What? It's like, you give me all these actors that I like with this type of hair, and you like to say, no, we're going to give them this hair instead. And it's...
90s.
90s, yep.
Also, and I didn't realize this at first, but I went back and rewatched it. Naoka Mori, you know the one, Toshiko from Torchwood.
Mm-hmm.
She's a Japanese hacker in this movie.
Of course she is. That's all I can say to that.
I know. I didn't recognize her at first, and I rewound it. I was like,
God.
"That's Tosh from Torchwood."
Oh Lord. All right.
The villain, I like the villain. He's a very stereotypical, cliche, predictable villain, and the ending is just way too unrealistic to be taken seriously. But yeah, no, this movie is the 90s. This movie is the 90s. whether you like that or not, if you want a movie that can sum up an entire decade, go watch Hackers. There you go. So there's my endorsement for that movie. Did I convince you enough with
You
that?
convinced me that if I'm really feeling the 90s, I'm going to pop this movie on.
Good.
So
Good,
there,
good.
you've done well.
So the second movie I watched is War Games. You said just before we started the podcast that you actually had seen
Yes,
this movie.
it's been a while, but this movie I remember quite well.
Okay, so the beginning of this movie, it felt quite slow and uninteresting, but then as soon as Broderick comes in and he hacks into the military, oh, so much better, so much better. Like it goes, it's really, really slow. Oh, something interesting happens. And, yeah. The directing in this movie, in comparison to Hackers, is much more reserved, but I feel like I kind of needed that after the ridiculousness of Hackers. I think the premise of it was really interesting, and I think that's what matters to me the most, is that the premise behind the movie engages me, like, and it's very topical of the 80s, which this movie is set in, because you have like references like the Cold War and the constant fear of computers being a very prominent threat throughout, and I thought that was quite nice. I did like the music though. The music in this was just awful. If there's one thing I could change about this movie, it's just the music. It's just bad. Broderick, I think, is a great casting choice. He exudes the rebellious teenage hacker that the movie needed and would become synonymous with Ferris Bueller.
Mm-hmm.
He feels quite similar, but it works in this movie. And I felt, in comparison to Hackers, the ending for this felt much more satisfying. Like, and that was a very important thing. So I liked this movie. Probably not so much as other movies I've reviewed, but it's definitely higher than a couple of others. And then finally, I'm gonna talk about Sneakers. I fucking love this movie.
Okay, then.
The dynamic between the main characters were very believable. Dan Aykroyd, his character in this movie is hilarious. Because what he is, he's a conspiracy theorist. And some of the theories he comes up with is so ridiculous. You're just thinking, like, it's ridiculous even for a conspiracy theorist. It's that ridiculous. Sidney Poitier's character, he plays a straight man, but oh god, some of the lines he gets is great. The music is much better in this movie than
War Games.
either of the two previous movies I've talked about. It's suspenseful when it's needed, atmospheric in others. It felt very similar to The Hunt for October in the music choices they made in that movie. I was really glad about that. Again, the villain felt obvious, but I didn't mind that so much in comparison to the other ones, since they had clear motivations as to why they were the bad guy, and there were some quite touching moments between the villain and the main character. So I thought that counteracted a lot of the obvious cliches of that movie. The one thing that amazed me though is there's a blind guy in the group, and he's played by the guy who plays the director Noah Vosen in the Bourne movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't recognize it at first, and it wasn't until about halfway through the movie, actually about 3/4 of the way through the movie, when he's driving an ambulance blind, where I recognized, oh my god, that's the guy from the Bourne movies. But yeah, it is a very funny movie, even though I wouldn't classify it as a comedy, but it's still a very funny movie. And it had a very, very funny ending. There's one bit at the end where they're asking for they're trying to bribe this guy into this guy wants what they're after, and they said we'll give it to you on the condition that you give us what we want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of them who's like the youngest guy of the group, who's like young adult. He wants this one of the bad guy's associates, who's a female. Yeah, he wants her number.
Yep.
And like everyone's straight faced throughout this entire thing, right? And then it comes back to her, and she walks over to him and is like, out of all the things you could want in the world, you want my number. And then the two just start flirting.
Oh, okay.
She gives a number. Oh, so good. But yeah, I have nothing but praise for this movie. Well done, well done, Jeremy. You convinced me to watch the movie, and it worked. Very, very happy about that one. Yeah. So you don't have any movies for roll credits before we move on to the news?
Once I finally watch Die Hard, then that one.
How have you not seen Die Hard?
Don't worry, my dad's worse. He's been trying to get me to watch it for the past week. I'm like, I know I'm gonna like it, but I need to wait to watch it, because I know I'm gonna like it. It's got Alan Rickman, but when I do watch it, I'm gonna talk praise about it the entire time.
Watch it on Christmas. It's the perfect
Yes,
Christmas movie.
that's what I heard. It's a Christmas movie, so I'm probably gonna watch it on Christmas.
Yes. Go. Watch it on
I mean,
Christmas.
I already watched Home Alone 1 and 2 last night, so I think I'm set for Christmas movies.
Home Alone 2 was just... Home Alone 2 was weird.
I didn't realize, I haven't seen the Home Alone 2 in a very long time. It's the exact same effing movie. It's like,
Yeah.
it's all they've done is added Tim Curry and changed it to New York. It's the exact same movie. Like,
Yes.
he meets an outcast. The outcast saves him from the two people, and then he helps him at the end. And oh my god, the outcast part got me especially, but still everything.
Yep.
It's like I was watching the same movie twice. But Tim Kai made the second movie worthwhile, but still.
Wasn't Donald Trump in his
Yes, he was.
cameo?
The one time he helped someone ever is a...
In his own tower. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sure it was worth that.
Yep. Is helping a 10-year-old kid to commit credit card fraud. Alright, so I think that nothing...
As you should.
As you should. There's nothing for me to really discuss. Is there anything else you've seen? Or shall we continue?
Let's go to the news.
Yes!
Alright. Before we talk about Doctor Who, I know you're like, why aren't you talking about Doctor Who yet? We've got to talk about a little unknown show called Sherlock. Yeah, I couldn't say that straight faced. It's so big now, Sherlock, which is weird considering I was there from the beginning. I was a pioneer of Sherlock. I should have that written on a T-shirt.
You probably should. That probably is a T-shirt. Come on.
I was a pioneer of Sherlock. Yeah. All right. So for Sherlock, we know the titles for all 3 episodes. Finally, we knew the first 2, but now we know all 3.
Yeah.
So episode 1 is going to be called The Six Thatchers. This is obviously based off the title The Six Napoleons. It's going to be written by Mark Gatiss and directed by Rachel Talalay.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
What's the last episode Just Gaddis wrote of Sherlock? That's my first question. Apart from that,
Hounds of Baskerville.
oh,
Him himself, I'm pretty sure. No. I'm trying to think. It could have been The Empty Hearse. I think it was The Empty Hearse was the last one he wrote by himself.
okay. Because if it was Hound of Basketball, I would have been a bit worried.
Yeah, I think it was The Empty
Let's-
Hearse was
let's
the
double
last one
check.
he wrote himself.
No, oh,
What? What is it?
yeah, he wrote it, I believe. Empty Hearse. Look, I'm excited. I mean, you have one of my favorite directors of all time, doing this episode. I think is she doing the entire series, or just this one?
No.
Just one. No, I don't. I mean, I don't know much about the episodes. I haven't really checked. Obviously, we know there'll be some Moriarty stuff. But no, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see what this episode brings. But I don't really have any opinions or judgments on it, except.
Well, you may soon, okay? Because we're gonna get to synopsises.
Oh. Okay, continue.
But okay. So episode 2 is going to be called The Lying Detective. This is going to be based off the title, The Dying Detective. This is going to be written by Stephen Moffat and directed by Nick Hurren. Thoughts?
Moffat, yay. That's it. Honestly, I have no idea what any of these are going to be about yet until you tell me. But
Well, the Lying Detective synopsis will not help you one bit, I assure you.
oh, brilliant. The thing about Sherlock that I liked is that I knew nothing going into each episode. Even though I love Sherlock, the book series, even though they're based off of the stories, I still liked going in, not knowing anything about how they've interpreted it, and I've been happy each time, except for Hound of Baskervilles. Apart from that, I've been happy each time.
Really? Blind Baker? You like the Blind Baker?
Oh god, shit. See, it's you remind me of that episode. I forgot that episode existed. Blind Baker was okay, but yeah, it wasn't good.
I thought Blind Baker was the worst of the 9 so far.
Yeah. I forgot that episode existed, but Hound of Baskervilles still is. Anyway, enough of that. Yeah, I'm excited for every episode of this 3-episode series. Okay, continue. Sorry.
And finally, episode 3 is going to be called The Final Problem.
Final.
Yeah. The weird thing is, right, it is obviously based off the title The Final Problem.
Yeah.
The problem is, we've had 4 stories based off The Final Problem at this point. I don't know what's left. Like, you had the confrontation between Moriarty and Sherlock,
Yep.
which was in The Great Game.
Yep.
You had Sherlock jumping off the roof, which was in the Rack and Back 4, which was in The Final Problem. You had the... what is it? had the actual waterfall jump in The Abominable Bride, and now we're going to have the final problem again in title form. So I don't know what's left. I don't know.
Bring it on. I'm excited.
So this is going to be a co-write of Mark Gatiss and Stephen Moffat, and will be directed by Benjamin Caron.
Ooh.
I don't know any of his work, like the director, but I'm interested to see why he was chosen.
Yeah.
Considering you had Talalay and Nicaran, who are both
He must
two of
have
my favorite.
a very specific set of skills that he will use to... I'm sorry.
Don't talk about Taken. The prequel thing came out today, and it's one of the most pointless things I've ever watched. I don't want to talk about Taken. It's Taken for you. It's like Taken to me is like your Transformers,
Oh god, really?
except probably not as bad.
Don't get me started on Transformers. Like, honestly.
We're gonna have a whole episode with just talking about him, talking about Transformers and why it's the worst thing ever.
I hate you.
Oh, that's silence. That's silence there. Alright, so synopsises, right.
Synopsises.
Six Thatchers.
Yep.
Alright, Six Thatchers. Alright, so Sherlock waits to see where Moriarty will make his posthumous move. One mysterious case in particular baffles Scotland Yard, but Sherlock is more interested in a seemingly trivial detail. Why is someone destroying images of the late Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher? Is there a madman on the loose? Or is there a much darker purpose at work? Something with its roots deep in Mary Watson's past.
Oh, I'm hyped. I'm very hyped. Oh my god. I don't know. I mean, I love the whole Mary Watson reveal. I thought that was amazing. But I don't know. I'm excited. I still hate the fact that they're making us think Moriarty's actually, here. Because I know that's not... I mean, I hope it's the case, but I know it's not going to be the case. But it's nice to know that they're still making us think that.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I'm excited for this. I think they definitely worded it well, so let's hope they can pull it off. Alright, that's it for me.
Alright, so, synopsis revealed for The Line Detective. In episode 2 of this new series, written by Stephen Moffat, Sherlock faces perhaps the most chilling enemy of his long career, the powerful and seemingly unassailable Culverton Smith, a man with a very dark secret indeed. There you go. There's your synopsis.
Is this the one played by Toby Jones?
Yes,
Okay,
Culverton Smith will be played by Toby Jones.
Okay.
The Dream Lord. The Dream Lord. And all your Wholock fantasies have come together.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Moffat and Gatiss spoke really highly of this villain.
Yes, they
And
have.
I'm intrigued by that alone. I think, Moriarty's Moriarty, but I mean, if this guy's going to beat him in every which way, then sign me up.
Toby Jones pulls off creepy very well.
If anyone's seen him in Doctor Who, you just know how ominous, how interesting, how devilish, how... I've seen him in a couple things, but I think Doctor Who's my most recent thing of him. Let me find out what else I've seen him in.
Captain America?
Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about this choice of villain?
I was expecting the villain to have come at some point. I mean, he does make an appearance in a story. I was waiting to see what they would do with it. I like the casting of Toby Jones, but I'm interested to see where they take the character. Yeah.
He's Dobby. Holy shit. The more you know.
Really?
He's Dobby.
Yeah, I didn't feel sad when he died in episode 7. I didn't feel sorry for him.
What?
Like, the asshole had it coming.
What? What did you...
Dobby.
Okay, this is the last episode of the podcast. I can't do the podcast with Nick anymore. Thanks for watching. George signing off. Bye.
Sure.
Why would you say that? That's like saying... that's like just... Why? Okay, enough of that. Oh boy. Alright.
You can go cry in your sleep, but Dobby deserved it.
There's one more, isn't there?
No, we don't know the synopsis for the final problem yet.
Ooh. Ooh, that's the final problem. We don't know the synopsis yet.
But we know that everyone dies, and there's no Sherlock season 5. So
Everybody
go.
dies, Rose. Everybody dies.
yeah.
Um,
All right, let's talk about the trailer because I've been putting it off for long enough. Sherlock. A new trailer was released for Sherlock, and there was one part that most fans lost their fucking minds at.
I love you.
Yeah. What do you think? Yeah, I think it's ridiculous, but I don't know what you think.
Look, I don't know what to think of it. I mean, I never thought that this day would come when he says I love you to someone legitimately. I'm assuming it's legitimately. I don't know. I'm not a 30-year-old girl, so I don't really have a strong opinion on this. Well, what about you, Nick? I'm sure you have a good opinion on this.
My guess
on this
is Molly's
spoken
got a
line.
gun to his head. Molly's got a gun to his head, and he says I love you, and then they kiss him, and that's the end of the episode.
No, but what about Watson?
But they're in the background, so they just feel uncomfortable.
Oh, all right.
Turns out Molly was the big baddie the whole time. And, I mean, Molly Moriarty. It makes sense.
Hashtag
you know?
Moriarty. There we go.
Oh,
took me a while.
by the way, I figured out the hashtag that you talking about last episode.
Yeah, what?
It's Marley.
Marley. Oh God. Yeah, no.
Because, and I know this because it was one of the most funniest things I'd seen that week. There was a poster called Marley and Me, and it had
Oh jeez.
Charlie in who's not Jennifer Aniston in that movie? You know the guy actor in that movie.
Owen
Marley
Wilson.
and Me? Yeah, that guy. So Charlie's Owen Wilson.
Oh God.
Matthias is Jennifer Aniston,
Mm-hmm.
and Miss Quill is the dog.
I need to see this picture. Oh my God.
I'll go find it later.
That sounds like the best thing to ever exist in the universe. Oh my God.
But yeah, Marley and Me. That's how I remember
Jesus.
it.
Okay.
Hashtag Marley.
Hashtag Marley. Yep.
We're going to talk about hashtag Marley later on.
Oh boy.
But yeah. I think just be really funny and really cool twist if Molly was the one that made Sherlock say I love you and break all those hearts but make them not so broken after all.
Plot twist.
I don't know. I'd be happy with
I
that.
love you. Yeah, of course you would.
I'm a romantic at heart, god damn it.
Anything to get Sherlock a girl that isn't Watson.
Yeah.
Poor Watson.
No homo.
No homo.
So we got a bit of cast insight into the new series, if you will.
Yep.
So this was at a BAFTA celebration of Sherlock. Mark Gatiss said, "It's absolutely the same show. We always have to keep reiterating this hasn't suddenly become some kind of uber bleak sort of Scandi show."
Definitely does not.
That's a really
See,
obscure
the thing
thing to
is,
say.
because of the responses, including myself, of some of these trailers, I thank God he's mentioned it. Because this does not look like the show that we've seen before.
Yeah, it's definitely gone darker, but I don't think it's lost its roots.
No.
It's important.
I hope to God not.
Yeah, so Amanda Abington chimed in saying it's quite funny. Actually, it's really funny. Gatiss then butted in and said, but there is overall a darker tone. It goes to a darker place than I think we've gone before. So yeah, it's basically what I was suggesting. It's darker, but it hasn't lost its roots.
Yeah.
Amanda said, we as a company got the scripts and we all got together and said, this is brutal.
Oh boy.
It's amazing. I think we, Lou, me, Una, Rupert, Ben and Martin all decided that this is our favourite series. Definitely out of all we've done. So, if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will.
No, nothing. Nothing ever will again.
Yeah, thoughts?
At first glance, I was a bit worried that, obviously now, thankfully that's not the case, but that this show was taking this weird, like, especially I think it was the first or second trailer, it was like this British spy show for a second there with the whole, very, dark spy themes. But look, if they say it's still, got its roots, then I'm sold. I can't wait. Like, obviously, you gotta have your Sherlock humor. If it's going a bit dark, that's fine. That's expected. But as long as it keeps what it had, then I'm all for it.
Yep, 100% agree. Can't fault that. And so that's going to be coming out. Well, the first episode's coming out on New Year's Day, and hopefully we can do a podcast sometime around then and give us our thoughts.
Yay!
Like we do for everything, because that's just how we are. We don't care about spoilers,
No, we don't.
as we've clearly just shown. Alright, so we have a couple more bits of info in regards to Sherlock. Episode 3, which we now know to be called The Final Problem, will get a cinema release in the US, UK, and Ireland. For those in the US, you get 2 days of the ability to watch it, January 16th and 17th, at 7 PM local time, courtesy of Fathom Events. Whereas if you're in the UK and Ireland, you get just 1 day, but it's going to be January 15th, the same day that it airs on TV, and it'll be shown in over 300 theatres. So, this is weird, right? Because I just criticised Doctor Who last week for having too many cinema broadcasts, but I want to see this in cinemas. I would pay money to go and watch this in theatres if they chose to do this for episode 3. No hesitation. What would you do?
I'd go under a bed and crawl and hide. I don't know what I'd do. I don't know. I want to let you answer first.
Well, I did. I said I would go in a heartbeat.
But no one goes with me to any of these things.
But you live in an entirely different state. Of course, I can't
No,
go
as
with
in
you.
like my friends who like love all this, love Doctor Who and love Sherlock. That they don't want to go, and it's sad.
We'll just put him on a leash and just.
No,
drag
I'm gonna fly to Sydney and just. No, I'm gonna drive to. I'm gonna walk to Sydney and then go with you. Done.
Yeah, well, if you walk to Sydney, I will gladly go.
How long
with
does it take
you
to walk
any
to Sydney
cinemas.
from Melbourne? Do you know?
6 days.
6 days. Alrighty.
Yeah.
I'll do a 6 days trek. Oh, I'll download like 20 episodes of the podcast, Syncast, and just listen to that on the way. Easy. I'm set.
I look forward to getting your photos saying, "Oh, just crossed the border." Great, still got a fair bit to go.
Of course I
You're-
would go.
you're-
I got my mum and dad hooked on the show, so they probably come along. My friends are hooked on it more than Doctor Who, but of course I would go. All right.
Alright, and last bit of news for Sherlock. The Daily Telegraph, in what was actually a pretty cool PR stunt, printed a notice in the announcements page acknowledging the birth of John and Mary Watson's child.
Aww.
I love the jab at Sherlock though that they did. You know, it was like, oh, love from Mrs. Hudson, Molly, and Sherlock.
Yep.
But Sherlock did nothing because he was too busy on the phone.
Bring on the whole jealous Sherlock towards baby Watson. I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
As long as it's not Twilight Baby, I think it'll be.
I haven't seen Twilight, so I can't.
Well, it's okay. Have you seen Son of the Mask?
No, I don't watch bad movies.
Okay, good. Because both of those are terrifying babies that definitely went wrong.
Isn't that on like
Which-
the bottom 100 movies on IMDb?
Probably.
Oh
I don't
God,
know.
what are you doing with your life? All right.
Anyway, so the child's name we know now to be called Rosamund Mary Watson.
Rosamund, that is
And
the
I'm
most British name. I love it.
I'm disappointed Sherlock wasn't in it, as it wasn't a middle name.
Yeah, I know.
Remember?
Yeah.
Because remember in his last
no one can
vow?
forget that.
He was just like, I guess I didn't tell you, he was like, Sherlock is actually a girl's name. It's just,
Broke the tension so well. I love that line. Pull it off so well. But yeah, look, I'm keen for some baby Watson, Sherlock banter. What do you think? How's this gonna affect the show? Because it's very important.
It's weird. I don't think it will. Well, I think it might it might be an interesting dynamic to see
Mm-hmm.
Watson all fatigued and all that
Yeah.
because he's too busy keeping up. But I don't think it'll be that big of a deterrent.
Yep.
Might make Watson a bit more cautious about going to danger because he has a child now.
Uh huh.
Apart from that, yeah, I don't know. I don't want this turning into a sitcom though. That's the only thing I don't want. I don't want this turning into a sitcom where it's like Full House.
Sorry, continue. That was
I don't
Seinfeld.
want it to be like Full House.
Yeah, no.
I don't want
Oh,
anything
could
to
you
do with Full
imagine?
House.
Could you imagine full? Oh, don't even.
I'm pretty sure there's like a Full House Sherlock trailer thing that has been done. I think I saw one a while ago. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
I don't know. Yeah, look,
I've got nothing else.
it won't affect it that much, so you know, I'm pretty happy with that. What's next?
Let's talk about Doctor Who.
Wait, hold on. 1 hour into the podcast, and we're finally discussing the whole point of our show, Doctor Freaking Who.
I thought the point of our show was class. In all honesty,
Oh, wait, the podcast or this episode?
this episode.
Oh, no, I was talking about the podcast, but yeah, this episode is about class, obviously, which we'll get to soon. But
Let's
but
talk about Doctor Who. Okay,
Doctor Who first.
Let's finally get to
Yeah.
it. All right. So Stephen Moffat, all glory Stephen, nothing. He's not a god. He gave Radio Times a bunch of insight towards the Return of Doctor Mysterio.
oh,
I love that title.
I love the title. I mean, the trailer didn't look too crash
that
hot, but
trailer.
you know
Far
the
out.
name is amazing, so just you give it that.
I was appalled.
Like, you can make an episode of a show that's fun and good. Like you can Doctor Who, you can do it. Like it looks fun, but I don't know if it'll be something worthwhile. But you know what? Let's save our judgments.
Well, Katie Manning said, and I quote, and I'm not quoting this, but I'm paraphrasing.
Yep.
She said that this is the best Doctor Who that she's seen.
Yes, I saw that, and I'm like, okay.
So, I don't know whether she's being genuine or she's being paid to say that, or she's.
If she's
hoping
being
something.
genuine,
I
then
don't know.
there's hope this episode. Yeah.
I hope that she's being genuine, but I'm just really concerned because the part that I saw really concerned.
Yeah, maybe they're showing us the bad parts for some really weird
To
reason.
lower our standards.
Yeah, and then just
we
boom.
watch the episode, boom.
Yeah, boom, shakalaka.
We got our episode title. Yes.
Wait, really? God damn it.
Probably. I don't know.
Okay, future Nick, don't you dare. All right.
Well, my last one was "We're Going to Hell," so
Yeah, no.
insert clickbait title here.
Yep.
Alright, so in regards to the story and the themes, Moffat says, we're doing a superhero episode, so we have this character called the Ghost. I'd like to say we're not doing a send-up of superheroes. We take it relatively seriously in a Doctor Who Christmas way. And we haven't suddenly announced that superheroes are real in Doctor Who's world. They're not. It's about a little boy who's accidentally conferred superpowers and who happens to be a comics fan, and so he decides he should be a superhero in his adult days. What do you take out of that?
It's different to an extent, so I'm interested. And it's Moffat, so I'm not going to judge yet, even though that trailer did not look too beautiful. But yeah. What do you think about this as a story?
I like the twist, like of not being a conventional superhero story.
Definitely.
But I need to see how it actually plays out, because just because something has a good concept behind it doesn't mean the final product will, as I will talk about in class.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all I have to say about that. Got anything else to comment about that?
Not really, no.
Cool, alright. So, we know the Ghost's real name is Grant Gordon, and I love that it's alliterated,
Yep.
because that's basically a thing that superhero movies,
Always
superhero characters
do.
always do. I was really happy about that. I was like, that's really funny. Particularly like the Flash Gordon, that's what I thought instantly.
Yep.
In regards to the monsters,
Yep.
there are monsters. There's a proper villainous plot. The monsters are fairly new. They've been around before. something we've seen before, but quite recently.
That sounds awesome.
Ooh.
That sounds
So
very cool.
The fact that we've seen these monsters before intrigues me because I don't know.
It does. It's
I
same.
can't tell what the villain's going to be then, or the monsters are going to be. I just in the stuff we've seen, I just can't figure it out.
Yeah. They definitely kept that hidden.
And this is what I was getting at before. In regards to Nardole,
Nardole.
he needs his superhero catchy song.
Nardole,
sure we'll
Nardole,
come up with
swimming in
something.
the ocean. I'm sorry.
We need to bring up Will.
Yeah.
And be like,
Hey, Will,
come up with a theme for Nardole.
and then it'll be like, there's a bunch of like, we can't put this on air because it's deemed to be, it's deemed inappropriate. Too many inappropriate terms used towards poor Nardole by Will. Look,
Anyway.
Nardole, you know.
Alright, so I'll say what they thought. So I'll say what Moffat said about him.
Yep.
Well, he's travelling with the Doctor when we first encounter him, and it's slowly pieced together what has happened to him, and continues to be pieced together throughout the next series. Do you know what that means? He's going to be a mini arc for the next series.
Yes! Woohoo! Thank you,
When I read that, I was just
Moffat.
like, oh my god, he's going to be a story arc. And I love that because it's going to piss off Will so much.
His username, guys, is the Doctor of Who. He's gonna change
Yes.
it until like Series 11 comes about, or whenever this guy's gone out of the picture, because it's Nardole. Like, why? Why? Oh, good lord!
When I read that, I was just like, Will is going to hate the shit out of this comment.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I'll continue. So, but you get the picture of what happened.
Yep.
We don't ignore, but we don't make a big fuss of what happened last Christmas when we saw him. He was decapitated, but still alive because he was still inside Hydroflax. It's also got virtually no Christmas in it, apart from the very first scene, which has one solitary Christmas tree, and the Doctor goes ho ho ho, and that's it. We ignore Christmas for the rest of it. What do you make out of that?
I don't know.
You're still getting over the Nardole
I
thing, aren't you?
I am. Can you repeat the question?
It's not a question. I'll repeat the comment for you.
It's Nardole. I'm sorry. I just had to Google the whole Nardole thing real quick, and I just can't believe it. Repeat it again for me, thank you. I need to tackle this professionally.
Okay, so Stephen also commented, it's got virtually no Christmas in it at all, apart from the very first scene, which has one solitary Christmas tree, and the Doctor goes ho ho ho, and that's it. We ignore Christmas for the rest of it. Was it the right approach to branch away from the Christmas sentiment?
I mean, some of my favorite in bracket Christmas movie / TV shows have just barely touched on the Christmas theme. But no, I think this is alright. I think if the story does well, I don't really care. As long as we get to see Capaldi say ho ho ho, then I'm happy.
It's gonna be like ho ho ho.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal. I didn't think I'd get a Home Alone reference in there,
Yes,
but
you
I got
did it.
one in there. Anyway, yep. So, thoughts? Yes? No?
Definitely. No, look, I think I'm not really fussed, honestly. I say sure. Are you fussed?
As long as it doesn't... I care if it's a good story.
Yes.
I don't care how much or how little Christmas is involved.
Yep. Yeah.
Just because it's on Christmas doesn't mean it has to have Christmas in it.
Yeah. I mean, you can't get more Christmas than the Christmas Invasion, but you know.
We'll talk about Christmas Invasion at some point next year. I know we will because we have ideas for next year.
Yeah.
So we will talk about Christmas Invasion at some point
Yep.
next year. Yeah, got nothing else about that. Do you want to move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright, so Peter Capaldi has spoken out to Wales Online about him leaving Doctor Who in the future. Capaldi says he's leaving at the end of the Christmas special.
What? What? What?
Okay,
What?
I'll say it seriously now. I just wanted to know reaction.
What?
Alright, I'll say what Capaldi actually
You
said.
scared the shit out of me, man. Okay. Okay.
But it was so satisfying.
Oh
Alright,
my!
so
Sorry, headphone users, but that's his fault, not mine.
yeah,
Oh
blame it
my
on me.
God.
No, not we'll do it. Blame it on Will.
Blame it on Will. Freaking nada.
Blame it on Will.
What did he do wrong?
I don't know. Will, we love you. Just no homo. Alright, so Capaldi has said, I've been asked to stay on and I haven't made up my mind about that yet, mainly because I don't want to have to make that decision. I'm trying to avoid it.
Oh.
He goes on to say, it's special, I'm lucky enough to be in touch with other doctors and we all agree how extraordinary it is to be in this position. To decide to leave is a tough decision for everybody. It was very tough for Stephen, so I'm just putting it off for as long as possible.
That sounds like the most professional way to do it. I'm just not gonna let future Peter worry about that. You know. You scared me. But look, I'm not. I really like him as a doctor, but yeah, it's like if he feels like he needs to go, he needs to go. But I think he can stay. He can stay for now. I think we'd all appreciate that.
You give him permission to stay.
He has my permission.
Also, in that same article, I should point that out, the companion's full name is apparently Bill Potts.
Oh my god, okay.
Potts.
Potts.
With 2 T's.
Yeah.
So, I was surprised about it. It's like, they announced the surname already? I didn't know that. But yeah,
Bill Potts.
apparently that's a name, so
Bill Potts. Alright, cool.
go have fun with that.
Yep.
Alright, so now, episode 8 of series 10, we now know who the writer is, but we don't know the director or what the episode title will be called. Anyway, I'm just glad we have something. So episode 8 was written by Toby Whithouse, and I'm so happy because it's just been so long since Whithouse has written for Doctor Who.
Yes.
It's been so long.
Yes. I could not be happier. Oh god.
I mean, Under the Lake was last season, but it felt like forever.
he does a lot of good stuff, and I'm excited. I really am.
So, okay, I'm gonna predict the next 2 because there's only 2 writers left that we haven't found out. One's Gatiss, we already know that, and then the other one should be Chibnall.
Chibnall.
It should be Chibnall.
But you know, just to piss you off, it won't be.
It'll be 2 Gatiss episodes.
Yep.
It'll be a 2-parter.
Sleep No More sequel double parter.
We'll talk about that. We will talk about Mark Gatiss shortly.
Oh, will we?
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we will too. I forgot about that. Alright.
Alright, so I'll talk about Chip Whithouse for a second here. So Whithouse announced this on Twitter. He said, Stephen confirmed that he'll be writing in Series 10 in the latest Doctor Who magazine, so he was just like, yeah, you know what, I'm in Series 10, the cat's out of the bag. Anyway, so when he was pressed on what episode he was writing, he said it's not episode 6 or 7, implying that the only episode he could be writing for is episode 8.
Yeah.
Very unsubtle there, Toby. You excited?
I'm excited.
Excited?
I'm excited.
Good.
I can't be more excited.
Yes.
He is great, and I can't wait. And that's it for me today. Yeah.
Alright. So let's talk about Mark Gatiss.
Mark Gatiss.
Will's favorite writer.
There you go. Third time.
So, Mark Gatiss has responded to Sleep No More sequel rumours. Alright, so, after a fake episode list for Series 10 appeared that indicated that Episode 8 was written by, and I kid you not, Mark Gatiss.
Gatiss.
With 2 T's and 1 S.
Mm-hmm.
2 T's and 1 S.
Are you okay there? You don't sound too happy with that.
Well, considering they spelt that wrong.
I know. I was just trying to upset you.
And I'm a fan of spelling and grammar, and if you're going to intentionally screw it up, I'm going to criticize you for it. I will burn the heart out of you.
Yes! You squeeze in a reference by... Oh, now I want him back. Oh, okay. Okay.
Calm down.
The
Alright, so you can go watch the Great Game after this.
I'm doing
okay?
that. I'm doing that.
Yeah, it's a Gators episode too, so it fits perfectly.
Okay. What's up?
Yeah, so anyway, after a fake episode list for Series 10 appeared, and that which indicated that Episode 8 was written by Mark Gatiss, called The Sandmen Return, Gatiss responded on Twitter saying, "No, they don't, and they'd probably spell my name correctly."
Yes. Thank you.
And we know that this rumor is not true because of the previous bit of news that I just gave, saying that Episode 8 was written by Toby Whithouse. So
It still
there you go.
still feels good to hear him say it.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, you could not be any more wrong considering the timing. You could not be any more wrong.
Some people need to do their research like you do, obviously. It's sad.
My research is just scanning news pages.
That's obviously more than they do. Like, Jesus Christ.
Well, for one thing, I would spell his name right.
Yep,
if
there
I
you
wanted
go.
to make a fake episode list. So, and I wouldn't do Moffat with 2 T's and 1 F.
Yep.
Because I still don't get how that slipped through the cracks and they thought that'd be legit. Anyway, let's go into the final bit of Doctor Who news. Well, it's not really Doctor Who, it's actually Class, which will tie nicely to this next segment afterwards. But anyway, Class will apparently get a late night slot on BBC One next year. Senior BBC sources have said it will probably air after the 10 PM news at 10:45 PM in a weekday slot, although final details have not been confirmed. And this is mainly due to the 9 PM watershed thing that they have on BBC. And the sources have also suggested that the BBC have been slightly disappointed at the reception towards the show. To which I say, no shit, you uploaded it at BBC 3, which was online only. What did you expect? What do you take out of all this ridiculous news?
I'm not gonna watch it anyway. But you know what? I mean, they really just should have seen it coming. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not keen on watching it again. No, sorry, Class. We'll get to that later. But yeah, I'm not really keen on this piece of news. All right, what we got next?
That's it.
That's it.
That's all the news I have.
Does that mean it's time for
Yes, it is.
insert cool Class tune here? Haha. now you have to do it.
Well, I did that in the last episode.
There you
so
go.
It's all good.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're following
Alright.
ritual.
So we'll take a quick break, and then we'll be back with episodes 5 to 8 of Class. Welcome back to Bigger on the Inside, episode number 5, and we are ready to talk Class. And boy, I know for a fact we've got some opinions on these couple episodes. So of course, let's start with episode 5, Bravish Heart. Mm-hmm. What did you think of this episode?
I actually got my note sheet right here. Let me get it up. Because I actually...
And yet no organisation out of it.
Oh, please. It's right here. Okay. So, this episode, I felt... You had the two little plots going on. Should we talk positives first? Or
Yeah, go
positives?
first. Yeah, go
I liked the whole... genocide... subplot with Charlie and Miss Quill. I really liked that. I liked the themes. The acting was amazing. I thought that was a great plot. The emotion was great. I love Badass Quill at the end. Badass Quill is awesome.
Yep.
Lord of the Rings reference. And...
Okay, that still annoyed me from the previous episode, though. I'm going to acknowledge that. I don't care if you say Frodo. You're still ripping off Fellowship. And I'm going to criticize you for doing so. Come up with original ideas, why don't you?
And there... Oh, and also... something about seeing the Shadowkin sitting there while April and her dad are having an argument that just made me laugh. Because he's just sitting there, just minding his own business, and they're just having like a heated argument, and I just couldn't keep a straight face.
Well, I'm going straight to a negative thing.
Oh, definitely.
I'm going to address the complaint of episode 4 and continues episode 5. The Shadowkin are so pointless in this two-parter.
Oh.
Which is weird considering this the main focus. But they do nothing. they do jack shit.
I sense you were. I sense that the Shadowkin are to you what Nardole is to Will.
No. I'll explain why.
Oh,
that's
okay,
not
okay,
later on.
okay.
But for episodes 4 and 5, they're so pointless. They are
I
extremely
could not agree more.
Alright, any other... Continue positive, sorry.
That's it for me. That's it.
Alright, so I do agree on most of your sentiments. Sophie Hopkins, I thought, continued her great acting from the last episode. She carried that on here.
Mm-hmm.
She did a great job. I loved the set design of the Shadow Planet. That's the other thing I really wanted to comment on.
Yes.
I loved how it looked, and I loved the different parts, because we only had like brief glimpses of the planet in past episodes.
Yep.
But now we actually get to see Ram and April walk around the environment, and it's so good. It's so good. It felt very Mordorish.
Oh, again,
but still.
+1 for the Lord of the Rings reference.
Believe me, if I had a tally for the amount of Lord of the Rings references that were done in this show, I'd probably have like 5.
I mean, look, you're lucky she wasn't reading the Lord of the Rings book. She was reading Hunger Games, because then that would have just tipped me off. Anyway,
did that really happen? Lord of the Rings?
Debbie
read that
she's
fast.
Hilarious.
Okay, so I have a bunch of negatives. What are your first negatives?
My main negative was... Now, this was what we discussed last episode, but I found the whole Shadowkin plot really hard to, get into, and just the drama of it didn't deliver for me. Because we had Ram and April being like a couple that shouldn't be a couple, leading that.
Oh, I'm going to mention that definitely.
Oh, dude, like
episode.
the fact that this was the main plot for this episode, like the main drama, and you had the two characters that really shouldn't be together in that way, were the people leading that part. And I just couldn't really follow it. That was my main issue with this episode. I just didn't like. I mean, I never liked them together, and when you give them this, it's like, no. All right, I'm gonna let you continue because that was my main big one.
So most of my negatives were the exact same as episode 4, so just go back to episode 4. There are a couple, though, that are different. I'm annoyed that the introduced character of the mother in the wheelchair can now magically walk again due to shadow power.
Because
that annoyed the shit out of me. Because it felt so... angry. I felt again angry. I felt angry. I'm just like, there was no need to magically make her walk again. I don't care.
We haven't seen her enough to give a shit if she can walk or not. Like, don't give us this.
And I don't care that they retconned it in episode 8. It still happened, and it still bugs me. So I didn't understand the resolution. Okay, so at the end, right, Coriolanus gets locked up and April becomes the Shadow King.
Ooh.
Don't even understand how that worked, right? Because they're both half human.
Yep.
But they both have half shadow.
Mm-hmm.
But Coriolanus has ruled longer, so I don't understand why April's king. I didn't quite understand why she suddenly got in charge and wasn't April that.
I'd answer the question, but I can't make sense of this show sometimes, so I'm just not gonna put my sense in for this.
I didn't understand it. I'm just like, yeah, still a problem. I don't care if you gloss over it. I would gladly love anyone on Twitter if they reach this. If you've reached this part of the episode, I would gladly love any of you on Twitter to respond as to why that happened, because it baffles me completely. And of course, such a predictable ending. April used the Shadow Kin powers now to defeat the fucking flower petals.
The flower petals are really a huge threat, so you shouldn't be making fun of them.
Anyway, so April uses Shadowkin to defeat the fucking flower petals just before Charlie uses the Cabinet of Souls to destroy them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Sometimes I look at some of my notes and I'm thinking to myself, what are you doing with your life? That you have words that defeating flower petals with shadow before Charlie uses a cabinet.
This is the show that we are brought with. This is what we get.
That being said, I didn't hate it as much as episode 4.
I don't think for me, this season nothing can beat episode 4. I don't think, in my opinion. But we'll see.
I mean, it wasn't good by any standards, but it is slightly better than episode 4.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about episode 5.
Same here.
Alright, let's go to episode 6.
Oh boy. Okay.
Detained. Go for it.
Do you want me to start? Okay.
Yeah, go
First
for it.
thing I'm
I
thinking
always
of
come to you.
is this is some dark, twisted Breakfast Club stuff. Like, who knew?
I love that though.
I know, it is amazing. It's like I love it. I love it. Positives. For me, this is one that I actually liked. I think it was a solid idea. I liked the premise of how, you tell the truth, yada yada yada. And I like the fact that it really gave the actors some acting. Like, I think Greg Austin and Vivian Oprah, they were by far for me like the greatest in this episode. I think they really shined. They really showed that they are great actors, and I think that's what the plot did. It really got everyone at each other, and I like that for what I presume that's what they were trying to get at mainly, unless there was something else that I missed. But as far as the plot goes, I think what they did was good, and that's my main positive. I'll let you go along.
I agree with the most part about Greg Austin, and I thought Vivian did have a decent acting performance. I didn't like the fact that she was quite shouty in this episode. She just yelled a lot of the dialogue.
Yeah.
And that's fine, I get that, but it does get on your nerves after a while, and it happens again in episode 8, and we'll get to that, but it does get on your nerves very quickly. I'm just... Greg Austin, okay. He owns this episode.
Yeah.
Sophie Hopkins had a great episode last 2, but Greg Austin owns this episode. Just from the beginning, right, where he had his claustrophobia, right, up until the very end, where he has that like very powerful moment when he holds the prisoner in his hand, and he's forcing the prisoner to confess about the fact that they were in the... I can't explain it. Anyway, that performance though, so good.
Yeah.
Also, the relationship between Charlie and Mateus, #Marley,
Don't.
so good, so good in this episode.
I mean,
It's just they shine.
for most of the show, they just seem like they seem too good to be true, and it's in this episode that they hit the important issues, and that's why I thought the plot was good.
Well, that's a big problem I have with the relationship between Ram and April, is that Ness has clearly shown he can do a good relationship with Charlie and Mateus.
Yep.
He's clearly shown it. I don't understand why he's fucking it up with those two characters,
Yeah.
though. Speaking of which, seeing April and Ram break up, one of the most satisfying things I've ever seen. Mainly because I didn't believe it to begin with.
Yep. I don't think they did either. I mean, she didn't. He did, but she did not.
Well, we'll get to
Yes, we'll get.
episode 8. Okay,
So
I loved. So I loved the premise of the episode.
Yep.
As you said, it's a mixture of Breakfast Club. I also think it's a mixture of Heaven Sent and Midnight as well.
I
Those
got
two
the
episodes.
massive Midnight vibe as well. Yeah, I could definitely feel that. This like unknown, mysterious. Oh yeah, yeah.
But just the idea of having to confess each other to death. And I'll talk about the confessions when we go to the negatives, but I like the premise of it. I'm trying to think. The other thing I really liked about this episode is the approach that Ness had about having episode 6 and 7 being a two-parter, but not a conventional two-parter.
Oh,
because of the fact that both happening simultaneously.
That was so well done. I was like so happy with how he did that.
So yeah, I loved that. That was how he took that. I thought I didn't expect it to be a two-parter. Then I realized that it was. I was like, oh, but it's not. It's not really in a way. There you go. They are my positives.
All right.
Actually, no. Sorry, there is one. I lied. I forgot one. I loved the ending with Miss Quill, and the look on Charlie's face throughout that.
Yep.
That is subtle, brilliant acting.
Those who have a great chemistry throughout the entire show.
Yeah. In all honesty, I don't think the series would be anywhere near as good as it is if Catherine Kelly and Greg Austin weren't in it.
Oh, definitely. It'd just be a bunch of kids just lollygagging.
And maybe the Mateus character, I thought, because those two worked really well together.
Yeah.
And the person that plays Mateus,
yeah.
I think he also adds a lot to that role. But yeah, just that ending bit where it's just Miss Quill and Charlie talking. That was just brilliant. It's just stand out. Yeah, let's go negatives.
All right.
Enough talking about positives.
I have one. Probably I'll go with one negative because you can talk about the confessions. But my main negative, which wasn't really that bad, but I felt like the resolution, how it ended. So not the Quill incident before that. So obviously you had Charlie kill the Rock, and they all fell over.
Kill the Rock.
That wasn't, for me, that wasn't as satisfying as it could have been, in my opinion. But bouncing back to a positive, as far as positives go, for the most part I was hooked. But I feel like that resolution with the Rock just died down a bit. I wasn't really satisfied with that ending there.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't mind it so much.
I didn't.
I
thought it would have ended a bit. I don't know.
I liked the fact that Charlie got sucked into the was getting sucked into the Rock because he was more guilty of a crime than the prisoner was.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah,
that was much better.
It was.
I thought that was. Yeah.
I like that it was Charlie that ended up doing it, but I just felt like it was a bit wasn't that satisfying in my eyes. But that's just
who
me.
else was it going to replace it?
Yeah, no.
None of the others.
No one else.
And I'll get to that in the negatives, but
that's my main gist with it. But I'm gonna let you continue on because there's some confessions that need to be made, right, Nick?
yes. Okay, so I was disappointed at the confessions given by the students, right? Because we knew all of them already. There was no surprise at any of the confessions that were made. I thought I would have loved if April made a random confession. Oh, I had this lesbian crush when I was in year 7.
I bet you'd like to do that.
Just but you know what I mean? Just something that wasn't obvious. Like, oh, I don't love you as much as you love me, or that was
Nah.
no shit. Oh, people, you just look at me like I'm a baby. I'm like, we've known that from episode 1. How is this a confession? I want to eradicate the entire Shuriken because they killed my people. No! Shit! These aren't confessions. This is something that's very obvious from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about Heaven Sent, the confession was at least surprising. You know what I mean? The part where, even though I don't like that scene, like the line so much, but he says he ran away not because he wanted to explore the universe, but he was scared of the hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I don't like it, because I feel like it detracts from the show a bit, I still found it surprising.
Yeah.
And that's what confessions should be.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be like, oh, you're confessing something I didn't know about you. Whereas all of the confessions that were given in that episode, we kind of already knew to begin with.
Yep.
So yeah, that's one of my main problems with that episode. It's just I was disappointed. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. You're not like episode 4 or 5, but I'm still disappointed in your confessions. I said before about Tanya being very shouty in this ep. She's okay. One person I feel really sorry for throughout this series is Fadi or Saeed, because Ram is given nothing to work with apart from episode 2.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking back, right? Episode 5, he follows April around the entire episode.
Yeah.
He does nothing. Episode 6, his purpose is to be arrogant towards every character in that room. Episode 7, he's not in it.
Mm-hmm.
And episode 8, he's in there at the beginning and doesn't do anything until his dad gets killed. We'll get into that. He doesn't do anything until his dad gets killed, and then he runs crying to April, saying they killed his dad.
Yeah.
And then, finally he decides to do that. He doesn't have character development.
No.
He's just an arsehole. At the end of the day, that's what he is. He's an arsehole. Yeah, so, but that's nothing against, the actor, Fadi. It's just, he's just given nothing good to work with. And we've clearly been shown in episode 2, he can act. It's just, he's, after that, given nothing. And I feel like he was the most shortchanged out of everyone.
Yep, I could not agree
in that
more.
series. I'm going to talk about Tanya for a bit again. So, Tanya's confession, and the clear thing that she's made quite clear is that she has no friends, right? That's been her thing from the get go. She has no friends.
Yeah.
But then she has the audacity, right? Like, while they're all making the confessions, to be like, "Oh, white people." I mean, granted, this is in regards to April choosing to bring back her mother's legs, right?
Yeah.
And I agree with that sentiment completely. But for a person that has no friends, you don't make a stupid comment like that. Because I'm just thinking, maybe your age isn't the reason why people aren't making friends with you.
Oh.
Just maybe. It's just
It's okay.
stupid
okay.
mentality.
I mean,
again,
look,
disappointed.
she's obviously, she's not a bad actor, but I think it's her character's like motivations, I want to say, that just makes her look like someone that I just can't really feel for, because the things that comes out of her mouth sometimes just shock me, and the fact that she's actually a really good actress for that to be wasted. Anyway, that's just me personally. But yeah, I think as far as negatives are done, I'm finished. Do you have any more that you want to share? All right.
Got none.
Shall we get on to
episode 7?
Ooh.
The Metaphysical Engine, or What Quill Did. And I love that title to start off with. That is such a great title.
Such a great title.
Alright, talk.
I really, 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 really liked this episode. I knew I would from the end of episode 6. I mean, I didn't know, but I assumed I would. This just had so much oomph. It was thrilling. It was so interesting from the get-go. I really enjoyed this episode as a whole. Obviously had its issues, but you know, it was interesting. Like I'm not gonna lie, half the time I was like, I'm not really 100% sure what's going on, but I'm digging it. You know,
You're engaged, going for the ride.
yeah. We know what she wants. She has her goal, and what I liked about this episode a lot was that we had these two people who we barely knew. One we knew a bit, obviously. What was her name? Headmistress Dorothea. Yep. And they actually had character development, like which was I was really impressed by. So you had I forgot how to pronounce his name. The soldier.
Is it like Barrow or something?
I'm not sure what his name is, but
the shapeshifter. We'll call him the shapeshifter.
Yeah. Like,
that's what I'm calling him anyway.
Him and Headmistress actually has some great character development, and that's one of my pros. But these two people who we saw most of in this episode, just joining Quill on this journey, I actually felt for them at the end. Well, one of them, but that's my main thing. I thought the character development was good, the plot was interesting. It was definitely a nice change from episode 6. And yeah, I'll start with that. You can lead on.
Alright, well, I don't know much else to add from that.
Sorry.
Just Catherine Kelly. Catherine Kelly.
She can lead an episode.
Oh, I made a tweet, right? And I normally don't like I don't normally like spoiling my thoughts on episodes, but I had to make it known to her, like her personally, how much I liked her performance in this episode. It was so good. It's amazing. As you were saying before, the dynamic between the three of them, Dorothy, the shapeshifter, and Miss Quill, so good. Again, just so good. I loved the premise of the episode because of how intriguing it is. The idea of being able to travel to places that are only theoretically possible.
Yeah.
The idea of being able to travel to an idea. That was an awesome idea to start off with. Just a lot of my comments on this are just directed towards Miss Quill. Like the dialogue she gets, like if you do that again, I'll pluck your eyelids off your screaming face. And it's like, what's with all the that's the size of a kitten. just dialogue like that. The hilarious nod to the Zygons being called Zygotes, and the continuity of the Zygons being a protected species on Earth. I thought that was a really nice nod to Doctor Who.
Yep.
I loved the locations in this episode.
Yeah.
Particularly in the Arn Heaven, with all like the deep red that the plants have. It's just anyway, the hilariously gory scene at the end with Miss Quill's eye. That creeped me the shit out on the first watching. Just this Arn coming out of the out of the slit in the head, and just she's screaming and just blood all over her. That's how you do gore right. That I know. I liked how they did it with Ram in the first two episodes, but that is how you do gore right there.
Yeah.
There were some really good, powerful scenes with Quill, in particular when she's like encountering the Quill Queen. You know, when she's like saying how like he shouldn't have the right to exist because of the whole like they weren't the Queen wasn't there when the people were dying in the war. And also the part where Quill's talking to the shapeshifter about her past.
Yep.
As I said, there was a lot of character development in this episode.
Yeah.
Even the speech when she escapes the cabinet. By the way, that reveal of the Cabinet of Souls, so good.
So good.
Although there is one thing I didn't quite understand.
Yeah.
And it's how did grabbing the soul, you know that soul, right? She grabbed the soul and she apparently progressed 9 months. How did that cause her to be pregnant?
Yeah.
Did they ever address that? Because I have no idea how that caused her to be pregnant at all.
I don't
know even how they get pregnant.
No idea.
Yeah, that is literally all of my thoughts. Like, just right there.
All right.
All of my thoughts. 99% positive.
I have
Just that one bit confusion.
I have one negative thing. Just one.
Ooh.
One negative.
Go on.
One.
Yep.
I found... Now, the whole episode was good to me, but I found the first half of this episode a bit slower than the second. Now, obviously, that's for reasons, but I found myself zoning out a little bit in the first half, which I know I shouldn't have. But I think the pacing of the second half was just much more better than the first. I found it a little bit slow. It was still great, but that's just my one little spike. But that's...
I think it's because it's set up as well.
Yeah.
Because when you set up, there's a lot of slow.
You have to set up, obviously, these people that we don't even know anything about. And to cram all this... This is why I said it's not really negative, but they've crammed the whole season's worth of character development into this one episode. So it's like, you know, insane. But yeah, that's my one little thing. But it all paid. It all worked out by the end of it. So yeah, that's it for me.
And that's it for me.
All right.
Let's move on to episode 8, the very last episode.
Okay.
The Lost. Go for it.
I'm gonna let you start with this one. Actually, I'm
okay.
gonna let you start with this one.
Alright, I'm going to ignore the last 10 minutes because we'll wait to the end part. We'll talk about the end later. But okay, so Miss Quill being pregnant, I liked how that brought a different side out of her.
Yep.
Like she couldn't be as ruthless as she was. Again, Charlie and Mateus, hashtag Marley.
Oh my
the
God.
the dynamic's so good in this episode.
Yep.
Just the poignant moments, like the part where Charlie's threatening Dorothea the gun, and it's like, what I thought you were supposed to be about all about all about pacifism, and she's like, we'll discuss this later.
Yep.
But he understands why Charlie's doing it, so he lets him continue.
Yeah.
The Shadowkin. Here we go. And this is why I don't hate them as much as Nardole. Like, as Will hates Nardole. Because they were much more threatening in this episode. By far.
Yep.
They actually did stuff. I'm just trying to think. I like the fighting practice between Quill and Tanya. I thought that was a really cool thing to explore. Seeing Ram's dad get stabbed, that shocked the shit. I was like, whoa,
when
what?
Tanya's mum got stabbed, I actually jumped.
Well, hang on. This is the thing, right? I predicted about 3 minutes prior to her getting stabbed that she would get killed, Tanya's mum. I predicted it.
Well, you did it right. I knew she'd die, but halfway through a sentence, and now she's like, I'm like, whoa, shit, that happened at that time, and yeah,
What was effective about it provided this sense of discomfort. Mm-hmm. It's the Game of Thrones. It's the Game of Thrones effect. You don't know who's going to live and who's going to die in this episode.
Yep.
So I was glad about that. The governors, they felt very reminiscent of Time Lords.
Definitely.
With their, like, the purpose of observation and gaining of knowledge. I'm like, this is just a class version of Time Lords.
Yep.
Ignoring the last 10 minutes, which I'm going to talk about at the very, very end.
Yep.
They're all the positives I have.
Okay. Mine, I can't really add much to yours, but what I will say is just general, that I think what I found was why this episode is probably one of the best of the series, is because there was so much given to us in this episode, and I did not feel cluttered. I did not. I felt like the way they gave it to us, the way they structured the episode was really well done. You know, it was just stuff was building up constantly towards the end, which we'll talk about later. But it was put together well, and I didn't feel cluttered by everything that was given to us, which was a lot, as I said before. And that's, I think, probably my favorite part of this episode, because this is the final episode. Well, it could be, there might not be a season 2, God forbid, but this is the episode to tie everything together, and they did it without making it like just chucking us all this stuff and for us trying to figure out what the heck's going on. So that's my main praise to this episode. I think, excluding the last 10 minutes, it was structured very well, and the characters, most of them, did really well. And yeah, that's it for me.
Alright, negatives. So I was talking before about Tanya and just her shouting. It is very prominent in this episode. Like, her shouting, I'm just like, I get it, your mum's dead, and they attempted to kill both your brothers, but my god, can you tone it down a bit? Yeah, it gets on your nerves. That's the worst part about it. It's just, I want to empathize with you, but at the same time I want to strangle you because you're just shouting too much. Which isn't how you should feel towards a character. Oh yeah, it was nice to know that it took April's mum to be threatened for April to actually do something, and not the 2 deaths prior.
Yep.
You know what I mean? She's really caring for people, you know? Even though at the beginning she was just like, no death should be we shouldn't be responsible for any deaths or something like that. Remember that at the beginning, end of episode 1 or 2?
Mm-hmm.
April makes that comment.
Yep.
It's just, it feels really hypocritical. This worst part. This is definitely one of the worst parts about it, right? April's excuse of being scared to love Ram, but not anymore. 100% bullshit.
That was what I was gonna say. Yep.
What the fuck? After coming off episode 6 and being glad that those two separated, just like, she's like, oh, ever since that day when we were locked in the classroom, I haven't stopped thinking about you. I'm just like, what are you doing, woman?
Oh my god.
That really annoyed me. I'm just like, you're forcing a relationship that just is not working because you've not invested the time in it to make it work. Which is, as I was saying before, a weird juxtaposition to Charlie and Mateus, which actually works. But yeah, that's my two main negatives.
I can't
there.
add much to that. My main one's gonna be about April, and I'm just sick of that romance there. But apart from that, I can't really see anything wrong. Like, there were the little character things, but I think plot wise, I was really happy with this episode. So that's it for me. Do you want to move on to the final 10 minutes? Are we ready for that?
Yeah. Go for it.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. They just built everything up and just slammed us down with all this. The one thing I'm going to say before... I'm going to let you take most of this. But the one thing I want to say is the Weeping Angel was a great touch. That was...
Oh my god.
That gave me some memories that I do not want to revisit, but that was a great touch. I loved, as you said before, they did definitely give a Time Lord vibe, and then she just turns around and the Weeping Angels is there, and I jumped, and that was enough for me. But then, wait, there's more. The Arrival, which is this whole thing that Dorothy has been working towards all this time, and it's really like to speak, ooh, what's going to happen, and I think the final 10 minutes really did that well. If there's no second season, then I'm going to be a very angry person. But I'm going to let you let us know what you thought of this final 10 minutes.
Alright, final 10 minutes. So it starts off with Charlie shooting April. I was like, wow. Because I didn't think he was going to do it. I mean, you've seen Charlie throughout this entire series refusing to, like...
And especially with April.
To kill anything. Even in the last episode, when he's threatening Dorothy, he doesn't even look. He turns away and shoots the wall. Uh-huh. So when he's forced to look her straight in the eye and shoot her in order to prevent the Shadowkin from killing everyone, that was a really powerful moment. Mm-hmm. And then seeing Ram come in and swoop, I'm just like, ah. It didn't detract from the scene, but I'm just like, I wasn't expecting anything less there. It's just I was just waiting for it. Anyway, Charlie using the Cabinet of Souls to wipe out the Shadowkin.
It's about time.
Yeah, it was predictable. I expected it to happen. It's still an awesome scene, though. By far, that was still an awesome scene. And all, like, the visual, like, the light of the souls, like, coming out, and... Oh, man. And the music that goes with that. So
good.
I want to listen to that. Just that music on its own. Because I think that is the best piece of music in this series. Mm-hmm. Hands down. Miss Quill saving Charlie at the last moment. I was surprised, but at the same time I wasn't. I was like, because at the same time, there's both really... She did it both for both good and bad reasons. Mm-hmm. And I feel like she actually feel it's more like selfish reasons. She did it so now, Charlie knows now what it's like to lose all of his kind, which he said to Tanya. That's what he did make him feel.
Yep.
But at the time, you're just like, oh, he's doing this. She's doing this really heroic thing. But looking back on it, I was like, no, she's making him suffer the same thing that he put her through.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course they arrived with the Weeping Angels, which, oh my god, I did not even see coming. Like, although Dorothy, in some stupid ass reason, looks away from the Weeping Angel. And I have no idea why. Because if you think about it, the governors are supposed to be this knowledgeable group.
Yeah.
So they should know that the things you don't do are blink and look away.
Mm-hmm.
Or you die. So, Dorothy's an idiot. And she deserved it.
She definitely did.
But, yeah, the part that definitely blew my mind, after all that, and I didn't think there was anything else that could blow my mind, April returning in the form of Korokainas.
That...
What?
I want to let you say that, but I want to hear your reaction to that. Their reaction was just like my reaction. Like, I was looking at it might as well be me looking at myself in the mirror.
Yeah,
what?
I was in shock. I had nothing come out of my mouth. I was just in total shock. I was just like, how are they going to explain this? And that's the important thing. It's fine to have a good cliffhanger, but you have to have a great resolution.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they'll come up with one for here or not. Anything else you want to talk about in regards to the last 10 minutes?
Just twist after twist after twist after twist. I don't know. That was... It was great. I enjoyed it. I think it was some good television those last 10 minutes. Yeah.
See, I wish Class was more like those last 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And episode 7.
Yeah.
Episode 7 and the last 10 minutes of episode 8.
Yep.
If that's the basis for what Series 2 is, this can be a really great show.
I agree.
Okay, so before we go into ranking the episodes, what are your overall thoughts about the series?
Overall, if I'm being brutally honest,
Yep.
if this episode had no relation to Doctor Who, if this was just a bunch of kids and a teacher battling aliens, I probably wouldn't watch it. I think there were definitely moments, but those moments were far and few between, so I didn't really think it was... I wasn't continuously just wanting to know what happened, except for, obviously, the final episodes, so the end of 6 and the end of 7. I was definitely, like, spamming, just like, give me the next one, give me the next one. But apart from that, I didn't really have that desire to watch it, so overall I thought it was pretty... It was alright, it was like, but it had great moments. What do you think?
So positively, I thought overall it was fine. There were some great moments, as you said, but there were also a fair amount of flaws. And this, as I said, this show can definitely become a great show if it builds on what it started off in the finale.
Yeah.
There were a couple of problems, and I'll say them now. Every episode, I noticed, was very arc-heavy, so
Yeah.
a lot of character development was rushed in order to progress the story, and I feel like that hurt a lot of characters. And I feel like if they had more episodes to work with, it may not be as much of a problem. And also, I was discussing this with Red Jonks, buddy of mine, because he'd watched the finale at the same time I did, and we were talking about our thoughts on episode 8, and I made this comparison to Bad Wolf.
Yeah.
In how they did Satellite 5. They introduced it in episode 6. Then they had these bunch of other episodes that didn't relate at all. And then you go to episode 12, and you find that they're back at Satellite 5 again. And you're just like, oh my god, that's a continuation of that. And you see the consequences of that, and it's like, that is how you do a story arc. It's not set up a couple of points here to be addressed in the next episode. It doesn't work and it feels rushed. Yeah, that's all I can say about that.
All right.
And the other thing that I want to comment about, the last episode was a lot about disunity in the group.
Yeah,
Would you agree about that?
I would agree.
But the problem I had with that is that there needed to be a point where all the people in the group worked in unity. And that never happens. At all. Okay, it might have happened in episode 1, but they were kind of forced together in that. I mean, like, they worked together in unity on their own. So kind of like the Avengers, they were all really dysfunctional, but they came back, they worked together at the end of the Avengers, and that's kind of like episode 1 of Class. But then they also have allied together multiple times, like Age of Ultron.
Yep.
So when the disunity happens in Civil War, it feels earned. Whereas in this show, there is no unity at any point, so it doesn't feel earned, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I don't know, I just, they're my problems, but there is definitely room for improvement, and if there is a second series, I hope, Ness learns from these mistakes in the first series, and builds on all the good things. Because there are a bunch of good
like,
things in
they're
this
definitely
series.
great moments. So, yeah.
Definitely more Quill and Charlie.
Definitely.
That's definitely been proven to work. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Yep.
Any final thoughts before we go into rankings?
No. All I know is that rankings are not going to be easy. For
Alright,
like the
what would-
half, it will be, but for the other half, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it.
Alright. Do you want to, we'll go episode 8 to episode 1.
Alright.
Alright, so episode 8, for me, no brainer. Episode 4, Co-owner of a Lonely Heart. Easily the worst episode of the bunch. What do you think? What would be your worst episode?
Are you going to ask them that legitimately, or is that like a joke, or?
No, legitimately, I want to know
Fourth.
what your worst. It's episode 4 for you as well.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Alright. So we're in agreement on that. Sorry, let's go to 7th on the list. What would you put as the second worst episode?
For
of the
me,
series?
it's more like 4 was like terrible, and now everything above that is like stuff that I didn't really care for, and that was episode 2.
Oh my god.
What?
My second worst episode is episode 2.
What? That's
And
rude.
I know it didn't seem like it because of my comments on episode 5, but episode 2 is just... Yeah.
The thing is,
there
can
were a lot of
comment
things
on
I didn't
episode
like about
5. Episode 2, I'm like, there wasn't really nothing. I didn't really give a crap about this episode. There's nothing to it. Episode 5, it took risks. Episode 2 was just boring slab of tattoos. Good lord, Jesus. I mean, at least, anyway, yeah, episode 2 for me. That's number 7.
Alright, so episode 2, Coach of the Dragon Tattoo is the second worst episode. We're in agreement on that. Third worst episode.
Is this me?
Yes, it's you.
Number 5.
3 from 3. Bravish Heart is my third worst episode as well. It's nice to see we're in unity of that. Alright, fourth worst episode. What would you classify it as?
Maybe we might split off here, but for me,
Yeah, I think from here on out. it might be
definitely,
different,
because I've ranked one episode probably way higher than you would. But for me, it is number 6.
yeah. Ooh, you put Detained as the first,
Yes, I did.
fourth worst episode.
Yeah.
Alright, for me, it is For Tonight We Might Die, the pilot
Yeah.
episode.
Okay. This is where I think it's gonna, because
Yeah, it's gonna. I knew it was gonna fringe off from here, but
Yeah.
it was nice to know that the bottom 3 we're in agreement on.
uh-huh.
Yeah, I think there was a lot to build off. I mean, there were some nice moments. The Doctor was good in it, but there was a lot that they could build on, and they did build on in future episodes. What is your fourth favorite episode? Now we're gonna go
For
to the
tonight we might die.
favorite.
Okay.
Alright.
And yours is?
Mine is name of it now. Shit.
You can just go number if you want.
Episode 3. Episode 3, Night Visiting.
Interesting.
Night Visiting is my 4th favourite episode.
Okay.
Keep in mind, episode, like, my 1st to 5th pick, I would easily watch. But yeah, it's nice to know. Yeah, I liked episode 3 a lot.
Okay.
What is your 3rd favourite episode?
Episode 3. I love this episode. I felt like it did things well with things. I'm kidding. I'm not sticking my ass. No, I think the themes in the episode were good. The acting was good. The plot, while questionable at times, was good. And I don't really have a lot of major faults for this episode. That's why it's number 3 for me. What about you?
Alright. Fair enough. For me, it is episode 6.
Yep. Okay, I'll take
Detained.
So now it's. Did we rank episode 7 first or 8 first? That's the big question.
Ooh.
So who wants to...
Hang on, we'll go 3, 2, 1, and we'll say the number.
Wait, of number 2?
Of what we think would be our 2nd
Okay.
pick. Right, ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1...
8.
Oh! Yes! Yes!
Oh my good... Yes! So, bottom 3, 1 and 2 are the same for us. That's 5 out of 8 episodes. That is impressive.
Yeah.
Because...
I think episode 8, if it didn't have the final 10 minutes, it wouldn't be as high on the list as it is.
No, for me, it'd
But
probably be about...
episode 7 overall was much better.
Episode 7 to me had no real faults, to be honest. I mean, apart from that slow thing, but that was building up characters that we don't even know. And they did it so well. I mean, it's funny that our number 1 is a Catherine Kelly-led episode. But
Yep.
I thought... I have to agree with you on every... Like, we went through that episode in a flash because we had barely any negatives to say about it. But episode 8 had that great bit and the ep bit. Episode 7 had the great bit the entire time. So,
Yes.
thank goodness we can agree on that.
I'm really surprised. I'm shocked.
I
that we
thought
got
you would have gone
least-
8 because I know how much
Yeah.
you loved that
I thought
last minute.
if you asked me a week ago, I would have said 8, but I rewatched it and I realized how much better 7 was overall, and 8 had the really good final 10 minutes that
Yeah.
definitely blinded my judgment a little bit, but it's still a great episode.
All right. This is
Oh
that
my
was interesting.
God.
Most 5 out of 8 episodes are the same on our list. That's really good. I think.
All right. Oh man, I think we can't not end it on that high note.
That was an amazing note to end it on. 3, 2,
All right.
1. Oh my lord. Okay.
All right. Where can people find you, Ringo?
You can find me on Twitter at gcap42, and you can find my my Facebook page where I am working on Skipperino right now at Blackwood Films. Where can they find you, nickname?
They can find me on Twitter at nquest63, and nowhere else because I don't really got anything else.
And you can find us, how you found us probably through here, on Facebook at Bigger on the Inside.
Yes, I'm hoping we can do. I'm trying to get a YouTube page set up, but it's just time consuming.
Yes, it is very. We've got to all take care of that, and that'll be fun. But yeah, I think. Sorry, what you were saying?
Yeah, go.
No, I was.
No, you go.
I was saying it was, unless you have something else to say, we can probably wrap it up soon. But you
Okay. Yes, I have one more thing to say.
Yep.
Next episode. Oh my god, I'm so excited for
okay,
it.
of course. We need to talk about next episode.
It is going to be called the Superhero Special.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to talk everything the Return of Doctor Mysterio.
Yep.
Because when we do it, it'll be out. And we are going to do our top 10 superhero movies from 2000 to 2016.
Oh, my list is already started. It's getting difficult, but I'm getting there.
It's exciting.
It's very exciting.
There's gonna be arguments. I know this for a fact. There are gonna be picks on this list that I don't agree with, and I know that'll be the same for.
And
you
do we
as well,
or do
I'm
we
sure.
not have a special guest on this episode?
Yes, and in order to make this a fair top 10, we will have a special guest. Hopefully, I'm hoping everything works out. He'll be there for the entirety of the episode, so he will be talking about Return of Doctor Mysterio and the top 10.
Yep.
But
He's a
it's
great
exciting.
actor. That's all I'm gonna say. My part.
All right. I'm gonna end on that note.
Yep, so am I.
Until then, nickname out.
G-Cam out.
Right now.
All right, so am I.
All right, cool. Anything you want to get out of the way before you start? Hey. No. I'm good. All right, go. I was about to say Nardole, but now I'm like, no. No, we're gonna talk about Nardole. Trust me, we're gonna
Oh,
talk about
God.
Nardole.
Okay.
Trust me, he'll be very important. He'll be very important.
Oh God. Okay. Just get it over with.
Sorry, Will.
Get it over with.
Sorry.
For Will's sake, and now mine, because I can't really get with him. Anyway, count us in.
Yes. All right. 3, 2, 1. Hang on. Oops, no, camera.
Nice.